Hi everyone, you're watching carbuyer.com.sg. Once again, in front of us is the Tesla Model 3. Today we're going to drive it, we're going to review it, we're going to find out how it behaves in Singapore, what it's like to own one, and also we're going to tell you why the car is a real ripper as well as a geek-mobile. Okay, so Tesla Model 3. What is the Model 3? It's the smallest Tesla to come from the American EV company to date. We've already done a review of the Tesla Model X. That's a large luxury SUV. The video link is right there in the card below. Now the Model 3 is, as the name handily suggests, actually about as big as a BMW 3 Series, and it competes against other luxury executive sedans such as the Mercedes-Benz C-Class, the 3 Series and the Audi A4. Okay, so that makes it about 4.7 meters long. It has a 2.88 meter wheelbase, which measures up very nicely against the Germans. There are 3 different variants of this car. This car was actually very kindly lent to us by Hongse Motors. Tesla is not officially sold in Singapore yet, and so this is a parallel import. But however, Hongse has a long history of selling exotic and special cars here, so you know, you're in pretty safe hands if you buy a car from them. Check out their website for more information. Okay, so back to Model 3. Now, why is it called 3? The actual reason is because it's actually quite a stupid reason, but it's funny. Because Elon Musk, the head of Tesla, wanted the cars to spell out sexy. So there's Model S, which is the big sedan. There's a Model X, which is the SUV. There's an upcoming Model Y, which is a small SUV, and this is the 3. So, you know, S3XY in internet speak means sexy. There you go. Okay, so Model 3, this car is a liftback 4-door sedan, and you can just take a look at the styling. I'll be walking around with you. Now, the car we're looking at is the high performance version. There are 3 versions here. Pricing starts from $276,000 Singapore with COE. Just take a look at the chart. It's going to bring you up the chart just to look at the differences. Now, this car is the most expensive one, the most high powered one, and the fastest one. It has 2 motors. It's one motor powering the front and one motor powering the rear axle each, for a combined output of about 480 horsepower, and it's a shitload of power. 0 to 100 quoted 3.3 seconds. This thing is really quite fast. 3.3 seconds puts you in the region of not even AMG cars or RS cars. Actually, it's close to hypercar acceleration in these cars. So taking a look from the back, we can see the very nice lift-back shape, and the entire roof almost is glass. We're going to take a look on the inside. Not sure you can see it from the reflections, but this entire section is glass, which lends to a very airy interior feel. Now we're going to look on the inside of the car, and you know, Tesla being very cool and very Silicon Valley high-tech, doesn't have a key fob. They actually give you a key card, RFID key card, and you can also use Bluetooth to link to your phone and unlock the car instead. Up. There you go. This is the handle. Let's press that in and we get in. Alright, so let's get in. Alright, now the first thing that will strike you about the cabin of the Model 3 is how minimalistic it is, and it's very futuristic. Now, even the Model X wasn't as sparse as this, and it's really quite zen in a way. There are pluses and minuses to this, but we will explain that later. Alright, so let's just take a look at the steering wheel. There are steering wheel controls, this one, and that's it. That's all there is. In fact, if you look here, you don't see any controls other than this. These are the window controls. This is for opening the door. Find it for you. Door doesn't automatically open when you get into it, getting towards it like the Model X does, but that's a much more expensive car. Alright, so have a look at the inside. Now this is also really cool. Wow, look at that. Look at all that glass. So we were talking about the liftback shape just now. That's the liftback glass, and then there's also a sunroof here. Let's see how much you can see. Sunroof. And for those of you who like that sort of thing, you know, good. But today it's really freaking hot, so a lot of sun today. Okay, and what obviously will draw your attention is this gigantic screen right here. It's got a horizontal layout, not vertical like the Model X, and it's 15 inches across, so that's effectively like having a MacBook right here, right here on your dashboard. That's the word I was looking for, dashboard. Okay, 15-inch screen. All right, so this is our quick setup screen. We have quick controls. Okay, so lights, fog lights, adjustments, steering wheel. So just now I told you there was nothing on the side. This is how you adjust your mirrors. You do it using the steering wheel controls. So I'm gonna do it right. I diddle it for you. Diddle, 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 diddle. Okay, and then once we're done with that, I'm gonna do the steering wheel itself. Same thing. Use the steering wheel controls. Yeah, down, down, upwards, and all that. Really quite sleek. Okay, so you got your window lock, display brightness, put that to auto. I'll show it to you guys. Okay, lights, locks. Those are your locks. There's no lock button. The lock button is up here. Lock the car. Alright. This is our display. Okay, and if you want to open your boot, you can open your charging port, open the front boot, open the rear boot. Easy peasy. Down here we have the tire pressure monitor, and we have our trip meter. Go back to that later. Okay, so driving. Now this is the high performance model, like I said. It has different sport mode and chill mode. Chill is, you know, for normal chill driving. Sport is for ridiculously fast driving. You can choose the amount of engine braking, regenerative braking. There's also track mode. Track mode, only use it. Experienced track drivers, not on public roads. Yeah, track mode. You can drift a little apparently, but we don't have the space to do that here. Creep, nothing to do with neck beards. It just shows you, that just turns on the creep forward function like an automatic car. Okay, autopilot. Autopilot is not exactly an autopilot. It actually is an assist system. So Tesla's got into a bit of trouble with that name because it implies that the car can drive itself, but it's not a true level 3 and above autonomous system. What you do, we just cut to the video here, is that you tap down on the driving stalk twice. The car will keep distance and keep you within the lanes and steer for you as well. So you're not supposed to take your hands off the wheel because it is an assistance system, it is not an autonomous system. But there are a lot of safety features on the Model 3, like every other Tesla. It's got 360-degree sensor views, ultrasonic sensors, radar, the usual stuff. So all this stuff which we've seen in German cars before as well is here. So collision warning, emergency lane departure, blind spot collision, obstacle aware acceleration. And you will notice that when you're driving, you will see, just like the Model X, you see the cars around you displayed very, very usefully. Even detects motorbikes and pedestrians. Super useful. We really love that feature. Okay, navigation. Navigation doesn't work here because it's not officially supported in our market. Safety and security. Okay, this is very cool. And I'm sure you've seen the videos and news reports online of Sentry mode. So Sentry mode, there are cameras all around the car, and they will detect movement and download. You can download the video into a USB stick, take it out, and then prosecute anybody who scratches your precious Tesla. So this is the main menu. This is just like a desktop computer, really. Very easy to fiddle with, very easy to get to grips with. Like all touchscreens, once you're driving, it's not that easy to, for example, change into sport mode. When I change to sport mode, I'll be driving, use my left hand, all that stuff. Not the easiest, but at least the screen is big, it is pushed forward, it's relatively not that fussy, not like those, not like the systems from Audi and Porsche where it's kind of flush with the dashboard. Those are a bit harder to use, honestly speaking. Okay, what did I want to show you? Okay, climate control. Now you think climate control is normal, boring stuff, but actually in a Tesla, it's always a bit different. There's dog mode. Okay, I'm gonna put the car in dog mode. Go out now. That was dog mode. Very cool. Oh, one more really cool feature about the climate control is you may have noticed that the aircon vents are just vents. There's nothing else there. Here's how you control them. That is really slick. And what we like about this execution is that it doesn't just look slick, but it works quite well. I mean, I want to point it at me. The air actually comes to me through the steering wheel. That's the first time I've ever seen that. It's really cool. But it works because, you know, a lot of the time aircon vents blowing into oblivion. I don't get any of the wind. What is the damn point? But Tesla has a pretty elegant solution here. Okay, you guys are probably wondering what it's like to drive, and as mentioned, this is the high performance model with a very powerful twin motor setup. 473 horsepower, 640 Newton meters of torque, and that is a shitload of power and torque. Really enjoyable. 0 to 100 quoted 3.3 seconds at a top speed of 261 kilometers an hour. So that immediately outguns a lot of the EVs on the market, such as the Audi e-tron, Mercedes-Benz EQC, probably not the Porsche Taycan, depending on the variant chosen. But you know, this is a normal, so-called normal sedan, and that kind of performance in this kind of package is pretty cool. It weighs about 1.9 tons almost, so it's not light. It's still an EV, but like all other EVs, the weight is carried very low in the body, actually in the floor of the car, the battery cells. So it handles really well. It's very neat. The big wheels do tend to make a bit of a bonk here and there, a bit lumpy, but it's still very American and very comfortable. And obviously, as an EV, it's really quiet. And I like the way it handles. It goes around corners pretty easily. I mean, most of the EVs you drive with the low weight, the weight down low in the car, it handles much better than the specs seem to imply. So this is the same, and compared to the Model X, it really is much more agile and really much more of a driver's car. I wouldn't call it a proper driver's car just yet. It's very fun to drive fast. It is very fast. Now, just cut to a clip of the acceleration. The acceleration is bonkers. It's like boom, and then you are really pushed back into your seat quite violently. So it's a lot of things to reconcile, like sudden violent acceleration in a large heavy fastback saloon. You know, around Singapore it handles the urban stuff very well. Out on the highway it's quite quiet. There's a bit more road noise, there's a bit of tire noise as well. It's not super quiet, but it's okay. Decent comfort as well. And also what we really like is that this car is the right size for Singapore. It's not an American sized car. As we mentioned, it's about the same size as a BMW 3 Series and a C-Class, Mercedes C-Class. So it's quite easy to drive. You've got a rear view camera and all that. You've got all your sensors to help you out as well. So really a very modern driving experience all in all. Alright, as you've seen, the Tesla Model 3 is a really interesting and very unique car. It's a car obviously built by geeks with a sense of humor, and that's one thing I really like about it, because and you know, these features are not all frivolous like this, but there are useful things like dog mode. You know, there's the Autopilot to help you with safety. This car was also rated very safe by Euro NCAP as well. So all the practical stuff is settled as well. And so far, for the kind of driving we've done in Singapore, with that kind of efficiency, and we haven't been actually driving a lot, we've been doing a lot of filming and shooting of this car. We can do more than 400 kilometers according to this, probably closer to 300 on paper. It says they'll do almost 500 kilometers, but I think with our experience in EVs and with the Model X, it can definitely do easily more than 300. But I think what the Model 3 does, it opens up a new segment. This is a sedan, it's executive sedan, alternative to something like a 3 Series. So starting from $276,000, it's actually within the realm of possibility for a lot of us. The performance model that we've driven here is actually $340,000. That's quite spendy, but that would be like AMG 43 money and a little bit more. But the performance, at least in a straight line, is definitely on par with cars like that. Now, if you like this review, please subscribe to carbuyer.com.sg. Stay tuned to our website and Facebook for more info, reviews, and all that stuff. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.